All right, it is Amy, and today I'm here with an amazing mom and fit community member. This is Lauren. I'm going to let her introduce herself a little bit, have her tell you how she got started and what exactly was her struggle before she decided to take control of her health and fitness. So, Lauren, tell us all about you.
Yeah, I am a mom to four kids now, all under the age of five. I've got twin boys. I have another little boy and a baby girl. So I actually met Amy through my sister who was doing bodybuilding. This was back in I think 2016. And I started working out with you at your gym. And then kind of took some time off. I got married, I had kids, and then now I'm back really to just kind of focus in on my health and my mental health and prioritizing that all after having kids because it looks very different after you have kids.
100%.
Yeah.
So different. And though you're doing such a good job because you have four kids, they're
Yes.
all under five.
Yep. Yeah.
That's wild. If you could do it, anyone could
Yes.
do it.
Yes.
That's amazing. Okay, before you got started, before you came back to me, but
Mhm.
happy 10-year anniversary, by the way. Thank you very much.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, but before you started back, what did you feel like your real struggle was?
I think I really struggled just with staying on track and having that um, accountability and food freedom. I think growing up, I didn't have a whole lot of knowledge about how to take care of my body as I got older. I when I was younger, I was just eating and I was active and I was constantly in sports and doing different things. And obviously, as we age, our body adapts a little bit differently. And especially the hormonal shift after having kids looks a lot different. And so now I'm just kind of back trying to figure that all out.
Love it. Okay, so what motivated you to get
Mhm.
started so quickly after having babies? So, because there's a lot of women that I talk to, and I think this
Mhm.
is so motivating and so encouraging that you are so young and the kids are so little. But there are so many women that tell me that they will get started when their kids are out of elementary, and then they're like, oh, we'll
Mhm.
get started when they're out of high school because they can't quite figure out the I guess priority perspective for themselves.
Yeah.
So what made you motivated to get started right after having the babies?
I just have always been someone that loves to be active. And I noticed after, I was pregnant around the first time, I noticed that my energy levels were definitely dropping. And that had a lot to do with the fact that I had some of that postpartum depression. I wasn't feeling as good about myself and my body. I wasn't eating the right way. And so that really motivated me and started sticking out to me like, I need to take care of myself. And in doing so and starting to work out, I noticed a shift in my mood. I noticed that I really stuck to eating good foods that made me feel better. And that has just translated into my kids also seeing that. And that just increases my motivation. They see me taking care of myself, they also want to do that.
Mm. And you've done a good job sharing some of your story and your journey because she shares her sweet little kiddos using self-talk and working out with her at home, which is so awesome because I remember that although I could like you grew up with no nutrition education and just
Mhm.
was active, but I did grow up with a mom who did at-home workouts from TV, whatever TV channel
Mhm.
had it on. And I do remember like participating with her and doing it alongside her and how awesome that was to be normal. And so I
Yes.
applaud you for that. And so Lauren does put that on her TikTok. What's your TikTok account?
It's Gallagher underscore Lauren. So
Okay.
it's a little bit tricky.
I'll share
Yeah.
that in the comments so people can follow you because it is so cute to watch you. Okay. So
Yes.
what then would your encouragement be to a mom that does have littles that keeps telling herself that she'll that she doesn't have time because she's taking care of kids. And how would you encourage her to get started with taking care of herself in any positive way?
I think for me, it has honestly helped so much in talking about it
Mm.
and telling other people. And that initially just started with speaking to my husband about, I really want to focus on myself and get better. And having it said and speaking it out loud kind of held me to a higher standard. In my own head, I was like, I need to start doing this. I need to do this for myself. And so for other moms or other women that are, wanting to get started, I think taking those first couple steps and just reaching out and talking about it is a huge step, and
Yeah.
just speaking it out there and speaking it into the universe.
Yeah, for sure. And you trained with me before your last baby.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And then during your pregnancy.
Yep.
Okay. And then after. So
Yeah.
you have shown really what it's like to start after having three
Mhm.
babies and then
Yes.
getting started. I've even had women start in our group that were 30 weeks pregnant, that started with doctor's approval, like in third trimester, because it is so good
Mhm.
for our bodies to be moving in that prenatal space. But then
Yeah.
postnatal, was there any time that you thought about quitting or giving up?
I think definitely after just this fourth one, I was kind of thrown through a loop. Mainly because I was like, oh, this is my fourth baby. I've totally got this. I can get right back on track. But I think we all can relate to the fact that every baby is different.
Mhm.
Every postpartum experience can be different as well. And so there were a couple times and a couple days where I'm like, I don't want to get up. I don't want to work out. And then, I knew in my head, in the back of my head, my voice, like inner voice was like, you need to do this. You
Mhm.
want to do this. You're going to
Mhm.
feel so much better. And after I put on my workout clothes, I was like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm making the time. And it is almost like instant gratification after even just finishing like the first 10 minutes of a workout. I'm like, I do feel so much better. And it is such a great stress reliever as well. So, yeah.
Love it. Well, you've made massive progress this last year, which is incredible. And it hasn't been because life is perfect. And I think that is
Mhm.
really encouraging too, because a lot of times as moms, especially, we're waiting for this like perfect time to get started, not necessarily looking at it. We're looking at a time frame or the right situation instead of looking at it like, well, right now our kids can be listening to our positive self-talk. Right
Mhm.
now our kids can see us taking care of themselves because we are programming our kids. And I talked about that with Dr. Shout on another podcast, but to see that you are programming your kids, it whether the day looks right or somebody's, getting a cold or somebody has to be taken to appointments, like you are programming them to see this consistency of this positive mom that's taking care of herself. And then you
Yes.
you did struggle with postpartum depression.
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I struggled with that my first pregnancy, when I had twins, and
Mhm.
then again after my second pregnancy, but with my third baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what do you think helped you the most with this last time where you did actually do the prenatal care and you did work out during pregnancy and postnatal? What do you think helped you the most with in terms of antidepressant?
I think honestly, it was just moving my body. And I think when I got towards the end of my last pregnancy, I mean, I was working out with you up until the day I gave birth. So I was just in such a routine of moving my body and feeling good about it that afterwards, I was like 2 days postpartum and I was like, I want to go for a walk. I want to move my body. And so as soon as I got that, full go ahead from my doctor of like, let's work out, I was, easing back into it and listening to my body. But I think that really helped me, and focusing also on our 6 fit habits of I can control how much sleep I'm getting and water intake and food, and really looking at, I may not be able to physically do all the full workout, but I can do 10 minutes. I can listen to my self talk, and those things also, improve my mood and help me.
Yeah. Okay. If you can do 6 Fit Habits and be in control of your mind and your mouth and four
Yes.
kids under five, I'm serious. Anyone can do this. Okay.
Mhm.
So, what has helped you most mentally with all of this? So, I
Mhm.
loved it. I mean, the obvious thing is when moms, everything we see online is massive,
Mhm.
um, overflow of data of how to lose weight. But
Yes.
then the mental health piece is definitely not shared as enough, I don't
Yeah.
think. And so a
Yeah.
lot of people are getting hooked on looking for what is the newest weight loss trend. But I want to know
Mhm.
and focus on what helped you the most mentally
Mhm.
what helps you the most mentally when you're in routine and when you got back to training.
I think I really struggled with the fact that I always thought that I was failing. Like I was
Mm,
failing myself and my body, and I was holding myself to such this high standard. And I think that that's something that's also kind of put on mom and women in general, of taking care of everyone else and putting a lot of pressure on you. And I think when I, chose and decided to start working out again, I started listening to that self talk of yours, the positive moms. And it was, not necessarily perfection. We don't have to go for perfection. We just need to, take those little steps and continue to grow. And I think that listening to the self talk in addition to working out made such a huge difference, because it's not just, do your squats and lunges and everything, and then you'll be all fine and dandy. I think it's looking at everything as a whole.
yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Good job. I love that. And that's something you get to keep for life. And that's what's really important.
Yes.
It's not
Yeah.
just we're not doing this for a short time. We're actually programming our kids. And then this is
Mhm.
something, regardless of what we're doing, we're going to take with us everywhere we go.
Yes.
Okay. Last question, if
Mhm.
someone was where you used to be,
Mhm.
what would you tell her? Like, what would be your encouragement for her? Why is she worth starting this, or why is she worth doing something positive for?
I think it's important to say out loud and to say to your inner voice that you are important, and you deserve to feel happy and to feel good in your body and in your own mind, be happy with what's going on around you. And I think that for me and for other women, that starts with getting rid of the idea of that we can't take care of ourselves, or we don't have the time. And I think finding the time and creating that habit of it is really important. And just taking those steps of, it may not be the perfect time of the kids are in school, or if I have, all the kids down for a nap, I can do this. Creating a space for yourself and to feel comfortable in taking care of yourself is extremely important, and it's extremely beneficial.
Love it. Okay,
Yeah.
so now that makes me want to ask one last question. I'm going to share with
Yeah.
you. So when I decided that was a non-negotiable that I wanted to be a fit mom,
Hmm.
because I have a tendency, my body had already put on a lot of weight in college, and then I lost it. And I decided that I wanted to be a fit mom. I just love that. That's actually just who I want to be,
Hmm.
prior to even business stuff. But I remember putting the girls one in a pack and play and one in a bouncer because nap time wasn't happening, when the stars were going to align. It was when I
Yeah.
could get it done. And I would take dumbbells into a playroom and literally
Yes.
get it done for 20 minutes, and it made the biggest difference. And then taking
Yeah.
them outside and playing and taking them the stroller, which you do such a good job of. So
Yes.
on an average day with four kids under five, what does the morning look like? Like, when are you working out?
So personally, me and I know my habits. I am not an early morning person. I never have been. And with four kids, they're all waking up at different times. So on a typical morning, my morning could start at 6 a.m. It could start at 7:30. So I prefer to get all of us up, fed breakfast, and then I start my workout. And now I have that into such a routine that my older boys know that when I get out my yoga mat and my dumbbells, either they get their water and they're standing right next to me, or they usually have some sort of activity and they'll be like, okay, mom's listening to Coach Amy, and they'll hear your voice come on my screen and they'll, repeat some of that self talk, but it always looks a little bit different of sometimes I'm in the garage doing workouts while they're all on their bikes riding outside, or sometimes I'm, up in their room and we're doing it in their room. But knowing that I'm able to kind of take it anywhere, and that's what I love about having that on the app, is being able to be mobile with it and just finding a time and a space, and it doesn't take much space, to kind of prioritize it and make it a habit.
Well, if we think of it as like our playtime, right?
Yes.
Where we would just be playing with our kids anyways. I think actually
Hmm.
our kids actually like it when we're present with them in the same room, but doing our own
Yes.
thing. Like Reagan and Reese never needed me necessarily pick up the Legos with them, but they wanted me present in the room so
Hmm.
they didn't care if I was working out and doing something I love next to them, you know? So it's so
Yes.
awesome to take it and be present wherever they are. And
Yeah.
then for encouragement for how incredible your results have been is that when it comes to like nutrition again, because you're already working out and you're making it non-negotiable, you're already listening to
Yes.
self-talk because that's just part of who you are now. But
Hmm.
with nutrition, I was also eating, all the goldfish when I was,
Oh, yeah.
you know, and eating all the extra, all the crust and all that stuff. But when I
Yeah.
decided that when moms are going to feed their kids and they want to feed their kids healthy and their best anyways, I'm
Hmm.
going to do that for myself. And it's okay to throw away the crust. And it's
Yeah.
okay to put the extra leftover goldfish in a baggie and then
Yes.
make sure that I'm getting my water, making sure I'm nailing my protein because I
Mhm.
am ultimately responsible for me. And I know the difference, how my body feels,
Yeah.
whether I'm my kid's garbage can or I'm eating the food that is best
Mhm.
for me. There is a big difference. And so
There
I'm
is.
really proud of you this year for taking control just like I had to. And
Yeah.
now we both feel so much better.
Yes. It definitely, it takes a little bit of time to really, like, instead of just out of habit picking up those last couple snacks and eating them, instead being like, okay, boys, let's, put it in a bag, or let's put it in the fridge. Let's save it for later because they'll probably be hungry again later. And making myself quality snacks or meals, because I won't have a little slump throughout the day where maybe I'm not eating enough, or maybe I had a lot of food that didn't feel good for my body. And so instead of having those little energy dips, I'm, steady and in control, and it feels amazing.
It does feel amazing. So,
Yeah.
moms, we're saying don't live off your kids' snacks
Yes.
so that you have better energy and better results. That
Yes.
sound
Yeah,
good?
absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm so excited. I'm going to share again Lauren's social media in the
Mhm.
comments of this podcast. I thank you for being on here. You are
Yeah.
incredible. You're such a good
Thank
example.
you.
I cannot stop praising you enough for doing this when it is such a busy time, but you're
Yes.
raising incredible kids. And this is before the age of 5, that's when our brains actually are learning the most. And so you're doing it at the exact time that your kids are absorbing it. It's amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
Way to
Thank
go.
you.
Okay, thank you for doing this with me.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.